Hey creators, welcome back to the club. The Black Creators Club is your go-to resource for all the Black movers and shakers in Hollywood, reactions to the latest pop cultures, and of course our own entertainment pursuits. I'm your host, Eboné Chatman, and I'm here with my fabulous co-host, Akilah Ffriend. Girl, how are you?
Girl, we good. I mean, we gonna get into this.
We're gonna get into it, but we of course are gonna be doing our Maven to Maven check-in, giving you our 2 cents on all the latest hot topics of the week, and then ending it out with a little Black excellent news. But first, girl, how are you?
I am doing so well. I can't believe we're already in our third week of October. Like this
flying.
Flying. I don't know what I'm going to be for Halloween, but Halloween is coming. It's approaching. Is it going to be anything serious? We'll see.
Yeah, for Halloween, I hate Halloween normally. I don't know. I hate dressing up. I hate the whole, I don't know. I think I'm scarred from my childhood.
Oh.
But I was like, maybe I'll do the princess from Coming to America. I told Akilah with Ariana, new ponytail. You know what I'm saying? I might
just channel it. Especially Coming to America 2 is going to be out soon on Amazon. Why not? I mean, besides thinking of what I'm going to be, which I feel like, knowing me, I'm not going to come up with a decision until October 29th. And then pick something out from my closet and just go with it.
Right.
But
be a rabbit.
Be a rabbit. Oh, girl, do I have you never know.
Little bunny.
You never know. But this week has been good. The major highlight for me, earlier this week, HBO was having this event. If you watch Lovecraft Country, child,
girl.
If you don't, get on it.
Get on it.
The season finale, by the time we air this, it would have already played. It's tonight, actually. But it's such a good show. And so what they did, they invited a couple folks to go and do this kind of immersive experience to see the finale before it aired, right?
Yeah.
So it was great. It was me and a friend. We ended up going, and it was they did a drive-in. I've never been to a drive-in ever in my life, so I was way too hyped just to go see a screen. I'm like, this is so cool.
But this is so cool. I think what's cool about stuff like that is it's a whole activation. It's a whole moment where you're kind of going in and you get to see. I saw on her story, so I was stalking because I was jealous. So I saw on her stories, and it was all 1950s vibes. So they set up the snap thing.
Everything. Literally, you drove inside, and before you even go in, it's we end up coming at a time where, some of the stars were taking photos. So we saw Jeannie taking her photos in her nice suit, because they, I guess, had a different screening, or they probably had the same drive-in situation, but they showed up a little earlier to be parked somewhere else.
Yeah.
So we did that, and then we kind of rode through, and then they took our photos, and everyone was dressed with suspenders. Even when you first came in, there was guys who were thinking welcome to Lovecraft Country, and they were dressed in the car wash attire, and they wiped your windows.
Oh, wow.
They gave me an extra wipe because I was listen, we're staying at home. I have not gone to the car wash in forever. So there was that. And so we did that, and then we walked through, took our photos, and then we were able to go, Eboné said, to the concession stand, and they did, they gave us even colas in the glass bottles. They had this lunch box that was very 1950s-esque. They had popcorn in it, all the kind of stuff. And then we parked. I was so hyped for the actual experience, the actual activation, that when the finale finally came on, I was like, oh yeah, we're here to watch an episode. And even you had to turn your dial. You had to turn your radio to a specific station to hear it. But before then, while we were waiting, we were just hearing all old-timey music. They were playing all old-timey music. They were welcome to Lovecraft. They thought everything through.
Wow, the details
to it, and it just made me this is how, if you're gonna do an event of this magnitude during this time where people are just excited to do something outdoors, this is how you do it. It was so well done. And even from when we were leaving, people were kind of screaming in the sense of oh my gosh, if they're being taken from those monsters who are in Lovecraft and things like that. And so they were you gotta get out type of thing. And we're just it was done. It was well done. So did that. And besides Lovecraft Country, trying to craft a little love of my own.
Yes, honey. What are we getting into?
What are we getting into? We are getting into officially. I rejoined Bumble.
Ooh, girl.
And
Bumble.
Right. And right. And you know what kind of bees are in Bumble. They not. Listen, they got They got honey when it's not right.
Or the black bees.
Listen, the black bees are very sparse, okay? The black bees are very sparse. And I'm still ultimately there, but I'm like, at this time in my life, knowing that I want something serious and everything, I may have to just expand. A queen bee might have to see what else is out there. And that's what got me on Bumble finally, to be like, I know it's gonna be a plethora of white men. But at the same time, I'm
maybe
like,
white is right. Maybe white is right. I don't know.
Yeah. Listen, I made some tequila for us. Let me just sip to that.
First of all, get into the tequila that Akilah made. Akilah made the tequila, and she was very heavy-handed on the tequila. I hope I can get through this episode, y'all, without fumbling and stumbling, because this one...
And we're doing tequila. Like I was like...
She cannot be trusted. No longer with the drinks. Pouring, no.
But did you die? But are you drunk?
Not yet.
You're living your life. You're living your life.
She did make me drink water, a whole cup of water before we started.
Because I already knew. I was like, finish the water, and then we're gonna do this.
Nice.
We got a great topic today, Eb. Like she called me early. She was like, listen, this is what we got to talk about. This is it. And when she knows her stuff. So when she says it, I trust her. And so she said it, and I'm like, yes. Like, you know.
There's been a lot of hot topics this week. You know, I mean, this week for me, the only thing that's been really going on is like I'm planning my sorority event. I'm in AKA, and we're doing a silent auction since everything is, you know, shut down and whatever. We had to cancel all our events this year, and we still want to be able to raise money for our scholarship fund that we do, and we give to kids that are going to HBCUs.
Nice.
And so we still want to be able to fund that, and so that's why we're doing the silent auction. So it's live until the 24th, so you guys can bid on. We have private jets, we have vacations to tropical islands. Okay, there's a plethora of items and things that you can bid on. So get your coins together, stack them up, get them ready, because they're going to a great cause. Okay, it's a donation. You can also donate things. Alrighty, okay, just putting that.
We're gonna have to have you add the link, because honestly, anytime, like, the silent auctions are usually a good event. There's a lot of good stuff, but your prizes are like next level. So
yeah, they're so good.
You know,
I mean, my sorors, they don't come to play. Honey, okay. And then the other thing is, you guys, is that I might have a date this week.
Oh my God! Do tell.
I'm excited. You know, I feel I'm a girl that loves to date. I love to go on dates. Yes. I love to be someone to court me and date me, and that's so exciting for me. So, like, to get up, get ready, get dressed, go somewhere, and be cute, and have him come ready. Now, don't get this mistaken now, okay? Because I need you to come ready. Like, if I'm gonna come, because, you know, I be coming with it. And I'm gonna need you to also meet me on my level. So
I hear it.
So if I get to the date and you're not on my level, I'm already disappointed.
Well, let's define levels though. Like, let's dig into that. When you mean get on your level, what does that truly mean? Is it just by looks, or is it by what's the?
Okay, obviously, first impressions are everything. So when I see you, I need you to be presentable. I'm sorry to like put it like that, but it's like I've been on dates with guys who are like, mind you, I had been at work the entire day. So a whole 8.5 hour day I was working. I probably worked out in the morning at 5 a.m. Like, a girl is out here grinding, and I still managed to bring a change of shoes, bring a jacket, and change my top before I went on this date. You know, I went straight from work to the date. When I showed up, this man had a whole like beanie on, grandpa sweater, like dirty Sperry's, like just looking. I was like, bro,
it could have been hipster until the dirty Sperry's. I was like, you know, probably that's his look, and then the dirty Sperry's.
You're going on a date, like I don't know. And I met him on a dating app, but my thing is I feel like the photos that I post are very great representation of who I am and what I'm bringing to the table when you see me. So it's like you should already know what it is.
Yes. Okay. Completely agree with that.
And if like we were out in Santa Monica.
So you just dress like that outside.
You should
you dress like that outside with me. You just somebody that you don't know yet, and this is the first impression that you're doing.
It's a problem. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I really need the person I'm going on a date with to know that like I'm gonna need you to come ready, like be dressed like like you
PSA if you're hearing this, get just ready.
You did your laundry, like you took a shower, put on some cologne, get a fresh haircut, like I mean, I don't think that's too much to ask. If I have to do my hair, put makeup on, get a cute outfit, wear heels, do all this mess, you can do the same. I feel like put in the same amount of effort. You know, I'm always coming ready. Yes. Always. Yes. And especially recently too, because, you know, we be getting our content in. Okay. Because today, Akilah and I were literally at the Beverly Hills Hotel trekking our stuff. You guys, it was such a mess. Like, we're gonna make this a short story for you guys, but like, we had duffel bags on duffel bags on duffel bags, because we had outfit changes on outfit changes. We got yelled at.
Bags, and we were not checking in.
We were not checking in. Duffel bags with no hotel room, okay? And we got yelled at by one of the security guys that we were loitering on the line because we had our bags.
It was like Big Brother style. We were walking, you know, you see the signage if you look it on Pinterest or you look it up or you see our photos soon. Like, it's up there.
Because they're fire.
Yes.
Heat are coming for y'all.
Heat are coming. They were like, no loitering. No loitering, ma'am. No loitering, ma'am. You guys can't stand that. And literally every few seconds, we were like, okay, we have to go. We have to go.
Oh my gosh. But we did make it work. We were hot. We were sweating.
Yes.
But we made it work. And we got some really, really fire content.
Yes. And we got to eat too. So we did eat. We were patrons of the hotel.
Okay, talking about eating. You guys, listen to this. So we go to this really cute cafe. Yeah. It's super cute at the Beverly Hills Hotel. Everything's pink and green, which, you know, is perfect for us. Yes. And it's like 60s vibes, so it definitely preserves that whole like vintage look. So cute. And so we get to the restaurant. Tell me why the Caesar salad was $30. Tell me why the spring rolls were $27 and it was only two
spring rolls. And he was like, I was like, how many spring rolls are in this? He was like, 2, but you know, you cut it. You know, we cut it in half.
Then it's 4.
So it's 4.
It's really good.
We already know.
Tell me why the matcha tea was $15. Like,
the fries that we end up getting too was $30. Fries are usually like, you know, a little $6 add-on, but they were a lot of fries.
Mind you, they were the truffle
and they were truffle,
but still, not the $27.
No,
you guys.
No, man.
I was like, listen. We were like, this would be so cute on the weekends. Every Sunday we'll do this.
We'll come back. No.
Okay.
Or if we're coming back, it's gonna be we
have our own snacks,
own situation,
our own drinks in the bag,
movie theater style. Like, listen, we got our own bags, our own snacks, and we're just getting it done.
I will never complain about a $15 salad ever again in life. Okay, that was so expensive.
It was so
I wasn't
expensive.
ready.
And I mean, we ordered because it was like, you know, we were patrons of this hotel.
And we
took so many pictures. We were starving. It was our first meal all day. And so we just did it. But
that was crazy, and I don't think we'll be doing that again.
But there were tons of people there too. It just had us thinking, like, wow, like, you know, this is the life for some folks, and
we're trying to get there eventually.
And it's what it is. That's why we're here.
Right.
We're here
either sugar daddy style or working hard. I don't know. We're gonna have to figure it out.
All the eggs in that one basket. We'll figure it out.
We're gonna figure it out. Okay.
Shit.
Oh my gosh! But that brings us to our topics of the day, our 2 cents. So, this week there was a soundbite that was on Instagram. Of course, you know, we like to do our research here, so I went to go listen to the podcast, the Dead Ass podcast by Khadeen and Devale Ellis, the Ellises. And he said, now, I'm going to need you guys to listen to what he said. He said, if you think sex is women, if you think sex is a chore, why do you push monogamy onto men?
Yeah.
If you think as a woman that sex is a chore, married life or long-term relationship life, right? If you think it's a chore, you don't want to do it all the time, you're annoyed, he's all up on you, whatever. Why do us women want to have a monogamous relationship with a man? Why not let him do his thing if you feel like you cannot fulfill all of his sexual desires? Akilah?
Yeah. So I know when you first sent this to me, I said, okay, I have to listen to this entire podcast because surely there's context clues. Surely there's other things that were said around this. And this was kind of that thing to draw us in. But lo and behold, no, this was truly the statement. Yeah. Said more than once, said multiple times, and shared in some part, I felt like, by his wife. My whole thing with this is, so first of all, why does monogamy have to be synonymous with sex? Like, that's my first thing. I was like, why do you feel like, okay, because you feel like you cannot, or a wife cannot, cannot fulfill all of your sexual desires, and we'll dial it back because we are not at that marriage stages or even as dating, right. Exclusively, that you feel like your partner can't fulfill all of your, desires, does that mean that you're ultimately not truly in an exclusive relationship, that you should have liberty to go elsewhere? Like, no, like, call it what it is. We are in 2020. If you want to be a polygamist, say it, speak your truth. There are people out there that would live it and be totally fine with you doing that. But if you decide to go into a monogamous and exclusive relationship and you feel like you're not getting all of your needs met in that exclusive relationship, is it that you need to then find other ways to get your need? Like, I don't agree with that at all. I'm kind of like, then you shouldn't be in that relationship. Or you should work on that relationship to make it so that it's fulfilling. You should compromise on your end so that it could work for you, or change the dynamics, because potentially it's not monogamous if that's your immediate, escape to say, oh no, I should get my needs elsewhere. If you're saying that, you sound like a polygamist. Like, you really sound like a polygamist, sir. And because it's not potentially still openly shared and a decision for relationships that you could be this way, that you feel the need to say, oh, I'm going to have monogamy on my own terms. That's not true. Yeah. That's not true.
Well, so we're all clear, right? He wasn't saying that maybe that's what he wanted to do, right? Because he in his podcast, he says he's very happily married, known each other for 18 years, been married for 10, have 3 beautiful boys. He, I don't think I did an intro if you guys don't know who he is, but he was an ex-NFL player. He also is an actor. He's on Sisters, Tyler Perry's show. He also has a lot of like fun, cool, like little clips that he does with his family. And I think
how we were introduced to him, if I'm not mistaken, how I was introduced to him was through Own's Black Love, like as a couple. That's where they kind of got their, in my mind, their shine, and then from there they were able to kind of change that.
But I mean, they were doing those like Instagram videos, and like that's probably how. Like, but yes. So if you didn't follow them, then maybe you saw them on Black Love. And then if not, then you see him on Sisters. But so he's saying that he's very happily married. He's just posing the question, right? And I think that the question is very interesting. Now, his wife said that if she knew that she would have to have sex every single day in a marriage,
or as often as she wants,
or as often as maybe he would want to, that maybe she wouldn't be married today, right? And I think that's a very strong statement. It is. Say that you wouldn't be married to your husband if you knew beforehand that you would have to have sex every day, right? And I think what his point of the podcast is to air it all out, to like let you know the realities of what it is like to be married, right? Because I feel like a lot of people have such high expectations dating, married, or just in general of like what your partner should be, right? I know I do. I definitely have expectations of like what I feel like my partner should look like, be like, do this, that, and the third, how I want him to like.
What the dynamic should be like.
What the dynamic should be like, because you're fantasizing until you get it. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And so he was really trying to like let y'all know, like, listen, it ain't gonna be what you think it is, because like when you're not married, you don't have any responsibilities that much, or maybe you don't have kids, you don't have like bills that you're sharing,
or the relationship changes, like kind of ebbs and flows. Like how you are dating is completely different than how you are married. How my single ass is presuming more comfortable, this, but that's kind of how it is. But I don't think it was so much of a yes, I love my wife, or a question of whether or not their relationship is strong, because it's clearly strong. Right. It works for them. That's great. But I think on both ends, I feel like it was interesting for her to say, because of sex or because of the her inability to feel like she is performing or having enough sex that satisfies her husband's needs, that probably she would give up marriage altogether. On his end, he's like, instead of me trying to change the idea of how much I want or how much she's willing to give, maybe I still want these needs fulfilled. And it's so important to me that we should perhaps as a society start looking at folks being able to get other aspects of their relationship elsewhere. And I don't know, I think the biggest question is kind of like, should you depend on that one partner or that one person for everything that you would want in a relationship? Because I feel like that's kind of what they're getting at, and it just happens to be sex, but perhaps it could be something else. But for them, they have a great friendship, they have a great, they have all the other aspects that what you would want in a partner.
Taking them out of the situation, I think in general. Yeah. At first, when I listened to it, I was kind of like, okay, like, it's an interesting question. Yeah. And I was like, almost like, maybe he's onto something here. Like, okay, like, if you're like, again, we're talking from a single perspective, because I've not been in a super monogamous relationship to where I can say like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, after like 3 years, I'm like, oh, I'm so over having sex with my man. Right. Like, I have no clue what I would feel like or be in the situation down the line, right? And as single, it's like you obviously don't get it as much anyway. So it's kind of like you can be fine with not doing it and still live your life. You get what I'm saying? Right. So like for women, I don't think it's a priority in a relationship to have sex. But I think that's a conversation that you should have with your partner, right? Before you get married.
It really depends, because some women, like I see that as a priority, to be honest. So it's kind of like different on my end, where me seeing that as a priority, I don't really see the problem. The problem in terms of like, where would that disconnect happen, where you feel like you need to even question, and this was kind of more of a salacious question, see what's up, like, again, taking them out of the situation. If any other relationship, to even say like, okay, no, actually I would want to get that fulfilled other places. But like you said, I'm not married. So it might be a situation where if you were even living with the person day in and day out, like, you're kind of like, listen, I'm not into it. I think I'm secure enough with this that I feel like if you need to really get this somewhere else, like, it doesn't even matter. And I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Like, even to pose that sounds like, no, this is not a monogamous relationship.
Don't look over here, because that ain't me.
Right.
That ain't me.
That's
but like, honestly, I feel like you really did have a point that it's like, why is sex the main, or like the pressure cooker of like, oh my gosh, like, I guess because the idea is that men have a higher sex drive than women, especially maybe after a kid or two, or after a long period of time or whatever, right? Like, so that men, like, and they need to have sex all the time, right? And I think that was where it was coming from. But I think the idea of that question and what she was saying of like giving up marriage altogether, I think is like two different topics.
It is.
I feel like
topics.
Marriage, you don't get married just so you can have sex with your partner every day. Like, that's not, people have sex without marriage all the time. You don't need to get married to have sex with your partner every day, right? Yeah. So I think the reason why you get married is for the legacy, for the family, to build an empire, to build something, to build with somebody, right? Like, to have something of your own. That's the reason why you get married, to have someone who's constantly there, loving on you and caring about you, taking care of you, taking care of your needs, besides sexual, like emotional, physical, whatever else, right? Like, those are the reasons why you get married. Right? Now, if we're just gonna like just talk about sex, I feel like, I don't know, like, I feel a little bit conflicted, because I mean, I see like, why are we pushing to just be with me? But for me, I think the reason why, it's emotional. It's an emotional thing, and that's why we're like, no, you can't have sex with anybody else. No, you can't.
But it's emotional, but it's also like societal, in the sense of like, if this is something that we're taught in terms of like, this is what works, and this is kind of the things that we idealize when we're saying these persons are relationship goals, or like this couple I love the most, that type of thing. We don't see polygamist. I keep saying polygamist because that's the only thing that I think of when you think of like, okay, you're still with your main source, your main partner, but you're going
open relationship.
Yeah, your open relationship or things of that nature. We don't see any of that and be like, oh, that's relationship goals. Like, we weren't shouting relationship goals when SZA was singing about the weekend. Like, we weren't doing none of that. We were singing to the top of our lungs, but we were like, nah, couldn't be me. Like, I would not be Saturday, Sunday. No way. no, ma'am, no Pam. Thank you, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No motherfucking ma'am. So I was like, there's no way. But at the same time, what does that mean when it comes to monogamy? What does that mean when it comes to this is what should work or shouldn't work? It's up to everyone to define.
And I think that's the problem.
And that's the whole thing. It's up to everyone to define. And the people who are defining it probably, and it works well for them, I think when you put it on a platform, you're opening it up to judgment. And then you kind of question yourself whether or not this works. This is the thing, right?
Because there's so many people that are redefining what relationship looks like, right? Like, there's so many people that maybe do have an open relationship or an open marriage. I know Monique, a long time ago, was talking about the fact that she had an open marriage, and a lot of people judged her for that, right? But at the same time, it's like, you have to figure out what works for you and your partner. Like, really, it's sticky. Like, it's such a weird like topic and taboo situation to talk about, but I feel like it is necessary and definitely something that, you know, we should talk about, because everything works so differently. Now, personally, I don't know if I can look at my man and know that you're out here thoughting and bopping, tooting with other people, and then coming home to me and then thinking that that's cute. Because the problem is when you're doing that, you're allowing that person to be open. Okay, because it's not always just sex.
No.
You get me? No. So let's play devil's advocate and be like, okay, bet, I'm in a relationship, but you know what? I can't fulfill all your needs. Go on and do your thing, boo-boo, and I'll see you at home.
Right.
Problem is that you're allowing your man or your partner, your woman, whoever, to go out there and potentially find something else that they like better, that they like more, right? Or bring home something to you that you don't want, okay? Yep. Like a STD or a baby.
Oh, Lord.
Okay?
Oh, Lord.
So it's like you're kind of opening up your relationship to a lot of extra factors that are stressors that you don't need. You know what I'm saying? In the Bible, God says that you, a woman and a man come together as one flesh. Okay? One flesh, boo. Okay. A woman and a man. So you do not need to be out here thotting and bobbing with a whole bunch of other people. That's not how it was intended. But again, it's societal, it's this, and I'm open to what works for you. But again, there's so many layers to that. You have to be emotionally strong if you're gonna let your man do that.
Yeah, but it's sometimes not even the man. Sometimes the woman who's doing it, and it's one of those things where it's like, if you're good with it, hey, it ain't got nothing to do with us. It got nothing to do with us.
Do you think? Because I know somebody who's in a relationship right now, and their girlfriend said, "Go ahead and do your thing." As long as I'm aware of it, I'm involved. Not like maybe she doesn't want threesomes, but maybe she just wants to know who the girl is.
What's going on? Right.
What, like when you're gonna go see this person, or like if she's on her period and like she feels like you need to go handle yourself, right? So she's like, they're actually the perfect couple to talk about this with, right? Because
we might have to, if they're open to it.
Because this is what he's talking about. Like she's on her period, he might have needs that she can fulfill at the moment. So she's like, go ahead and get it somewhere else, but let me know who it is, right?
Right.
Do you think that woman is being secure? Do you think she's setting herself up for failure?
No, I think she knows exactly what she wants, or I would say she knows exactly what she's doing.
You think so?
She may not fully be able to see in the future, as he can either. Like, in the sense of like, I think there's a notion of we're so nervous or scared that if you let somebody, not to say that he's on a leash, but if you loosen the leash a little bit, he's gone forever. It's a matter of time, he's gone forever. But it's kind of one of those things where it's like, if that's what you want, if that's what he wants, if you had an open enough dialogue about it to say, like, this is how I feel, and these are the parameters around our relationship, sounds pretty healthy to me. Is again,
really,
I won't be in that situation because that's not my style. But
and it just feels like to me that in a relationship, maybe it's because I just know I know this person, so it's hard for me to really like give neutral stance on the shit. Because
you're like, hell no.
Because I feel like he's very much so like very just all over the place. I don't know if he knows what he wants. You get what I'm saying? And so I feel like he's searching for things in sex, to find satisfaction in sex, rather than like, and he knows and recognizes that this woman that he's with is a good woman, right? But also he has these habits and things that he just are perpetual, and he just does them, I think, out of habit, or because he knows that he can or get away with it or whatever. And I don't know if that's always like the healthiest either, right? So if you feel like you can't be in a relationship and come to a certain understanding in your relationship about sex and what that looks like, and what the expectation is around sex, I feel like, is that really like a healthy relationship? You know what I'm saying? And if you get married, right, and you have kids, and the woman, our bodies change all the time. There's hormones all over the place. You're dealing with outside world and outside stresses. Like, there's so many different things that could like stress you out as to like why you won't want to have sex with your man, right? It's not because of him. Just so much is happening that I feel like it's just all about the communication, talking with your man, talking with your partner, figuring out what works. And if he does, honestly, if he does step out, I'm not saying leave him either. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, because I feel like men cheat not because I'm saying
that shit, but I've
are you saying you're gonna cut him off if he cheats on you and you're married?
This is my thing. We could bring Cardi B and Offset as an example. Yeah. Well, I don't know the inner workings of their relationship either, but the whole idea of like, if they had a understanding that it's me and you, and we're not doing things with other folks, and you did something with someone else, she took him back, I don't know if I'll be so willing. Like, I don't know if I'll be so willing. You never know until you're in the situation.
You never know until you're in the situation.
And to be honest, we recognize, in a sense that, yes, we're supposed to rage and be so upset about cheating, but at the same time, there's more likely than not a lot of folks, both on men and women, and everything in between, who take their partners back. You know what I mean? And
really, but I personally don't feel like there's anything wrong with that.
You don't feel? No,
I feel, okay, you're over here, she's stressing. I personally
put me in, coach.
Go ahead. She's over here on the first flight out of there. I personally feel like, now, this is a general statement. There's exceptions to the rules and all that. Okay, so I get it. But I feel like a lot of men cheat because there's something going on at home that they're maybe they've talked about it, they tried, it's not getting through, or maybe they're not trying. Like, I feel like men cheat because there is something going on in the home. You get what I'm saying?
So it's the same thing when he was saying earlier about the monogamous relationship in terms of, it's because sex is not happening here that I'm getting it elsewhere. Yes. I mean, and we like to say men cheat, but women cheat too.
Okay, we're not there yet. I'm saying, but men cheat. And so from my point of view, it would be like, okay, babe, now, of course, I'm not saying I wouldn't be mad. I'm not saying I'm not going to burn up his mess. I'm not saying that I'm not going to kick him out the house. I'm not saying any of these things, right? I'm just saying, eventually, if I decided to take my man back, it would be an understanding that, like, okay, we're going to counseling. We need to figure out what the root of the problem was. Like, clearly, what am I not doing for you that you feel like you had to go and get it from somewhere else? You know what I'm saying? Now, if there's no way to come back from it because he's either over it or out of the marriage or emotionally done, whatever, then that's a different story. But if it's just strictly on like a sexual like want, I feel like it's something that can be said. Now, if you bring home an STD or a baby, now that I ain't got time.
I was like, we know her deal breakers.
I ain't got time.
But for me, it kind of goes back to a trust thing. It's less about the sex. It's less about you cheating. It's more so, we know, like we were saying earlier, there are multiple different relationships out there.
Yeah.
You decided with your own free will to enter into a monogamous relationship. If you feel like at some point in time, because things change, people change, that this is something you can no longer do, or something that you would have to switch up, then that you should be open and honest enough with me, and you should understand and respect and value the rest of this relationship that we've built, including trust, including our friendship, including being a confidant, etc., to be able to tell me and open up to me and say, hey, something about what's happening here, something about this monogamy is not doing it for me at this moment in time.
Right, like talk to me before you cheat.
And then give me the option to be like, you know what? Now, as the person, I can be like, hey, maybe, again, I don't see that in my rear view, front view, side view, lane of thinking to say that I would allow it, but at the same time, at least give me the benefit of the doubt. You never know in that situation. Maybe I'll be like, you know what? This one time, like, go ahead and find somebody real quick, because I'm not trying to do it. No.
That don't sound like you.
I couldn't even finish the sentence.
But it's not.
But at the same time, at least with that, I'm like, there's an understanding.
I understand.
There's an understanding.
I'm going to say this one thing, and then we can move on to the next thing. But I'm just saying, I understand how people can cheat, though. It's so easy, and I understand how cheating can occur without it being... I don't want to say not intentional, because it's like obviously you intended to
or like emotional cheating
or like emotional cheating. It's like you obviously intended to do that because you kept talking to this person, right? But I know when you're getting something from somewhere else that you're not getting at home, or you're not getting where it's like becomes your escape, that's when it becomes easy, because you're like, oh my god, this is so great, and our friendship, and then it's like, oh, now we're in the bed together, because it was that connection that you built.
But I think
don't let it get that far.
Right. And then last thing too, I don't want it to make it seem like you're doing this only because something inside the home is lacking, because people are greedy. Sometimes you have everything. You have everything right here in front of you.
Maybe she is having sex.
Everything on the platter
every day.
Listen.
And you still
still feel like, because you feel entitled, you feel like you deserve more because you're lacking in something personally, that you want to do more than what's already there and what's on the table. So it's you never really.
Which brings us to the toxic masculinity topic of the day. Okay, because Slim Thug apparently was online talking some mess. The Shade Room picked it up, of course, and we got a hold of it. So now we're gonna play it for you guys, and then we're gonna talk about it, because this had me crazy.
Fake motherfucker to see something you like and don't even like it because you fake. You don't want to look thirsty. You worry about what somebody say. You got to answer to your bitch like a bitch. I'm a boss. I don't answer to no bitch. I don't give a bitch. If I like the picture, if the bitch fine, I'm liking the picture. If I think she fine, I'll put hard eyes under. I'm not bowing down to no ever. I'm gonna always be the man in the relationship, and the bitch gonna bow down to me. Period. Like the say these days. You sound as and let the whole world change and let the girls be the man now. Sound as if I see a picture I like, I'm liking that motherfucker, and the can say whatever the she want to say and get mad as she want to get mad, and I don't give a because I'm the man, and I can do what the I want to do. And secondly, I'm saying, look, you need to hang around real like me, because I'll let you know how this go. You feel me? And I ain't never bowed down. I'm gonna like every picture I don't give a what now one of you motherfuckers think. And all y'all, if I want to be with me because I like bitches, get your insecure ass away from me, bitch, and step your game up, because my bitch gonna be bad enough to be okay with me liking a bitch picture and knowing she a bad too. You know, insecure ass bitch. Yeah, you feel me?
I wish we played a game, like count how many bitches and
right. Like every time, take a drink.
Take a drink. Listen.
Girl. Wait, right. Just, hold on. We just took a drink, y'all. We had to take a moment, take a sip. Because that was a whole lot. See, that was two different topics, in my opinion.
Two different topics.
That was two different
topics.
topics.
It out for the people, Ab. What are the
It was two different topics. It was like one about somebody being secure with their man. Now that's something different, right? And not liking pics and whatever on Instagram. The other topic was the fact that you think that you can just do whatever it is that you want to do, and the girl needs to bow down to you.
And that defines you as a man.
And the
you know
fact
what I mean?
that defines you
because I think that's the biggest
thing. As a man, that you don't listen to your girl. Mm-hmm. That you can do whatever you want, run the streets, run amok, and that your girl can't say anything to you.
Because that's what manhood is.
Because that's what manhood is. Who
raised you? Who raised you, Slim? Who is Mama Thug? Who is Papa Slim Jim? I need to meet them personally because I am like, I know good and damn well. Nobody told you that this was okay.
Nobody told you.
You got on
not on the
Mark
gram.
Zuckerberg's good own Instagram. On whatever fine day you were driving your car, not paying attention to the signs because you thought it was important to tell us that you're a man because you do whatever the fuck to whoever the fuck, and everyone else is insecure because they're calling your ass out.
Right. It was like the audacity of the whole thing. What am I even saying right now? It's the tequila. The tequila got me. What am I saying?
Whatever you said. Whatever you said.
I said what I said.
You said what you said.
I said what I said. Listen, you guys, that whole clip has me like so hot because I just feel like, sir, I just hope that, listen, you are a public figure, you get what I'm saying, and you have young people looking out after the things that you're saying, and you're preaching that mess. That's insane to me. Now that's the part where I'm like, okay, because we could write you off and be like, nah, you ain't dateable. You ain't
right.
Like, we might like your music, we could whatever, but like you're undateable, right? Mm-hmm. But the kids that are listening to this mess, because there are 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 20-year-olds, young impressionable kids that really think that that's how manhood should look, and that's what manhood is. That you get to do whatever you want. You come into the house, you pay the bills, you do this, and then you get to run amok. If you want to cheat, you can do that. If you don't want to pay a bill, you can do that. If you want to bring 5 girls in the house while your girl's at home laid up, you could do that. That ain't cool.
Because that's manhood. My thing is, first of all, who is checking for Slim Thug besides Beyonce would check up on it? Nobody was talking about Slim Thug since then. Oh. I don't even know where was your audience? Who are you talking to, Slim? I know it's because of the Shade Room that you caught on to it, but I am not on Slim Thug's corner of the internet to ever be interested in seeing this video. But now that we saw it, now that it was brought to our attention, we feel the need to comment on it because it's kind of like, what? Let's break down the two topics, because he said first, in terms of what you were talking about, he talked about the fact that he should be able to like whomever's photo, comment even, or hard eyes and whatever else, because he's a man and it doesn't matter. And my thing is, it's kind of like, again,
he said he doesn't want to look thirsty.
He doesn't want to look thirsty, and
that's why people aren't doing it, because they don't want to look thirsty.
But it's kind of, I see the point in terms of like, you should be able to like whomever. It is what it is. But I think, let's say, if I feel like he got on the screen to release some anger because potentially one of his things, somebody said they had a problem with that.
Who hurt you?
Right. And he was mad that somebody articulated the fact that they had an issue with the fact that you're liking potentially someone's pictures that you perhaps shouldn't be liking. And
listen.
It shouldn't be that deep. It shouldn't ever be that deep on the gram. But you all have social media.
It shouldn't be that deep on the gram.
And
No, what? I disagree.
You disagree?
I disagree.
I don't think. Listen.
I disagree.
If I'm liking somebody's photo, and I'm in a relationship. I'm just liking their photo. That's it. There's nothing there. I like the photo. I think the comments with the hard eyes and all that might be a little extra.
A little extra might be.
Might be a little extra.
It is 100% extra. Listen, if my man thinks that he's gonna be liking naked pictures,
okay,
bikini pictures of other girls on the gram, and thinking that I'm gonna be okay with that, you're tripping. Listen.
No, you see, we added all the details here. Nobody said nothing about bikini.
No, but I'm sure that's what he said.
He
said naked pics.
Oh,
he said,
did he?
If I want to like on some naked pics and do this, I can do whatever I want. No, nobody's tripping if she's at brunch with her girlfriends. I don't care about that. Like away, boo boo. But you're not about to be liking no bikini pics, butt out, boobs out type pics. Like, nah. Like, because you know what that means? Like, Instagram is just...
It's going to show up in your feed. You don't want that to be the algorithm.
It's showing that, like, this is the type of thing that you like, right? So if it's an IG model, if it's that, like, I'm not an IG model. You know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily look like these girls. So it's like, if you're liking that, you're just telling me that that's the body type that you envision, the body type that you like. Maybe it's a lustful thing. Maybe it's like you want to have sex. So if those are all telling signs that you want to have sex with somebody and you're liking the pic, for me, that's not okay. You're crossing the line, and I'm going to need you to get it all the way together. In fact, you're not even allowed to be following these IG models. Why are you're not going to be talking to them, connecting with them, doing anything with them, so why are you following them?
They got Finstas for that, because it's happening regardless.
No,
it's happening.
Get all the passwords to all your social media, because no.
My thing is,
I could trust you, boo, but don't break my trust, because to break my trust, I'm going to be all up in everything.
That's real. Okay. Yes, don't come for her.
Listen, don't play. Don't play. I'm really sweet and everything, but don't play when it comes to that, because I just feel like it's
opening Pandora's box.
Now, listen, I have another friend who had this whole debate with their boyfriend, right? Now, they've been dating, they went to college together, they've known each other for X amount of time. He has a kid, but that was like outside of, like, they weren't together at the time. Right. They're together now, right? They reconnected. And he was having an issue with the fact that she was liking other guys' pictures on Instagram, right? Yeah. So then they're having wars, calling each other, because he lived in a different state, right? She lived here, lived in LA. He lived in a different state. Calling wars back and forth of like, I just had this whole conversation with my man because he was mad that I liked, X amount of pictures of this person or X amount of guy photos or whatever. So then she's on his Instagram trying to like tit for tat. And I thought the whole thing was low-key ridiculous, because I was
that's kind of what happens,
y'all
right?
Need to chill. Like, it's not that big of a deal. And at the end of the day, it's like, well, y'all should just delete social media then if you don't want.
If it's that crazy.
If it's that serious.
I think it depends. It goes back to intention. It goes back to trust, and it goes back to all that. Because I think his delivery, Slim Thug's delivery, was all the way off the wall, and I think he was being very extreme in the sense that, we're, as women, collectively, insecure and this and that because we have an issue with you liking a number of salacious photos and et cetera, et cetera. I think that's problematic, but that is how it starts. But at the same time,
models, because we talked about this on the Get Clout video, is that you're putting hard eyes, you're a celebrity,
you're doing that.
All this mess. And even if you're not a celebrity, if you're putting hard eyes, guess what that's telling me? That I'm the one receiving the hard eyes, and thinking, this man want me.
And it's giving you some sort of power play over it, like we women knowing women. Girl. You're dating this girl, but he's liking all my photos. He's commenting on all my stuff.
Boom.
And so this is it, this and that. But at the same token, I'm not going to dismiss what he's saying completely, even though his delivery and everything just shows that he wants to be ignored. I'm not going to ignore him because I think what he says, or the core thing there, is the fact that, again, defining your relationship. I don't think it's that big of a, I really, really don't think it's crazy of a deal for you to like somebody's photo occasionally. It's all in boundaries. You can't be liking 10 photos in a row, things of that, commenting on all those kind of things. Because I think, again, it's giving you, it shows you're interested. And knowing social media, if you see a bunch of likes in a row from this one person, a bunch of comments from this one person, it's giving you that signal like, oh, this person wants me. Like, let me, I can DM, or they can DM, and I'll be receptive.
And I'll be receptive.
Or I'll like a bunch of your pictures back, and we'll do that playful thing until someone makes a move. And that's what the person is saying. Don't even go there.
It's like marijuana. The gateway drug, boo. It's the gateway drug. Don't be liking too many pics.
Don't do it. But occasionally, if you see something and you're like, okay, bet, I like that photo. I know it's out there. I'm not stupid. I know it's out there. So it's kind of like, you're not liking it doesn't mean you're not watching the video. You're not liking it doesn't mean you didn't see the photo. It's more so, I think the comments on top of that was etc. What's too much. And I think for you to then call women insecure because somebody called you out and said, listen, boo, I don't like what you're doing. Yeah. I think that shows insecurity on your end to think that that's emasculating, to simply just for someone to say, to call you out. Call you out.
Just be like, I'm uncomfortable with this.
Right. Say they're uncomfortable, or who knows how they called you out. Probably the manner was emasculating, but at the same time, it's one of those, if you feel like you can't be checked, you're not a man. If you feel like you can't be checked, you're not an adult. Because people should be able to check you.
Yeah, you can't just be
you can't be running and doing whatever and then saying it's on somebody else's dime and it's fine.
Listen, but to be on a whole nother spectrum of the thing, Jordyn Woods and her man, what's his name?
Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, okay. He is fine with her having an OnlyFans, Jewel. I wonder what is on this OnlyFans. What is on this? Like, is she doing the naked pics? Is she doing the booty flicks?
Like, leave something to the regular folks that really wants to make their come up from OnlyFans. But hey, I don't know what she'll be doing.
I don't know. What is you doing, Jordyn?
I'm sure it's not, anything crazy. Or probably it is. And what if it is? And that's the reason why Karl is still okay with it. But I think it's really just like,
maybe he's kind of like, don't let me see it.
Right.
You could do what you want to do, boo-boo, because I'm not going to control you. You could do what you want, but don't let me see it.
Get your coins how you want to get them.
Right.
Because
maybe there's trust there, but I think it really, for me, it really depends on what is that she's putting on OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's like the same stuff that she's posting on Instagram type stuff, then it's kind of like, okay, whatever. Like, But I feel like to have an OnlyFans and for someone to pay $30 or $40 for whatever the fee is, that you need to be showing a little some. Like we want to see booty, we want to see some body.
But people do it mainly on probably it's just going to be feet. Like, people do those fetishes, and it's like
it doesn't even have to be.
Maybe it doesn't have to be.
Maybe it's like a key to their relationship or something like that. Maybe it's like, a little little vlog behind their vacation that they took or something like that. Like maybe it's like, maybe that's why he's okay with it. So maybe the headline sounds crazy.
Because it's OnlyFans and what it's associated with.
Right, porn. But I mean, I feel like there's so many different things that she could be using her OnlyFans, and we don't have any details as to what it is that Jordyn Woods is putting on her OnlyFans. So I think I just need a little bit more details.
We all do, child, but we'll be waiting and seeing for that. While we're waiting and seeing, we heard that Jeannie Mai is also waiting on her man when it comes to being a little more submissive.
I am so here for all this submissive life with your man. I'm so here for this.
Okay, well, what Jeannie said, and I think it's important in this whole idea of your relationships and how you kind of, deal with decision making. She said earlier this week, I want to submit to my man. Submitting has a negative connotation. It means that you are less important. You are lower than that person that you're submitting to. It usually can be like, referenced as somebody who works lower than you. And that's not what I'm referring to here. I'm a very dominant woman. I own my own business. I lead my teams. I played my own manager, my own publicist, my own lawyer when I didn't have money to have those people. When I come home, I like the idea that my man leads us. What do you think about that?
I love this idea. I'm all here for my man leading me, right? I'm all here for him to take control in the household. And I'm not saying making all final decisions for us, because we still are a team, but I am all here for catering to your man. I'm all here for him to feel like the man and king of his household, because he is. I'm here for a modern, traditional type lifestyle, okay? So modern in the fact that like we're 50-50, we're talking about and making decisions together. You're not the only person that gets to say so. I'm gonna be working, okay? Like all of the things above, but traditional in the sense of my man can come home and feel like he runs the kingdom. Like, I'm here for that. Like, babe, where we going for dinner? What we doing tonight? You got a date night for us? We doing this. What, what's the weekend looking like, babe? Like, what you want to do? Like, I'm here for all that. I'm here for it all.
Okay, you could be here for it. I'll be outside waving at y'all as I pass by in my very modern partnership. I do think, first of all, I think, what, if you like it, I love it. It's one of those things where this is her relationship and she doesn't really have to even describe it to us, but she did. And so now we're all here, contemplating what is it that we want? Do we agree with her or not? I think Jeannie knew, submissive, or the term submissive is, I think was not the right word to use, even in her sense, because I think she did know what she means when she said submissive.
She did say it had a negative connotation. She did say that.
She did say that, but she also said, well, that negative connotation has nothing to do with me and what I want. And the thing is, she can choose that. It's fine. I think for me, I much rather, super modern in the sense that, I like what you're saying in terms of 50-50, we both make decisions, et cetera, but I also feel like, it's not up to you. It's not up to the guy. It's more, even with dates, like I love to be catered to as well. So I'm here for that. But I also, in terms of my love language too, is just all about, I'm not all about it, but in some cases I am about just the idea of me also being able to, take you out, me also being able to show some sort of affection in the sense that, maybe I make the decision when it comes to this or that thing. Like, I don't want to fully be in that role. I consider myself like definitely an alpha female. And usually that means, at least for me, I much rather an alpha male. And sometimes that's going to be, that power struggle might happen, but I enjoy that as well, because, it all goes back to just communication and debate and, me getting your mind, you getting into mine, and we both knowing like, the respect level is there on all aspects. If I'm leading so much in my life and I enjoy doing that so much, as Jeannie is saying, she enjoys doing that so much, I consider my personal life also that much more important, that I want to play an active role in it. And I want to, showcase that I'm being active and not so much so letting it happen to me, which I get the feeling when someone says submissive, that's more their stance. Like they are fully trusting to just let their personal life happen to them.
Oh, hold on. I feel personally attacked. Okay, hold on.
Okay, I was not no attacks here. You like I said, you like it. I love it.
I'm just saying that, somebody has to steer the boat. You know what I'm saying? If you're in a canoe, somebody's got to steer the boat. Somebody got to tell you to go left. You got to help them go left. Someone needs you to go right. You need to help them go right. And I think that it's a partnership in the way that you live your life. And I don't think that being submissive in your relationship to your man, right, like we're talking from the female perspective, means that you get no say-so in your household. I don't think that that's what that means. I just think that it's giving your man space and allowing him, because, at the end of the day, working women, we're strong women. We have our own opinions. We have things that we want to do and get done, how we want it done and get it done. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that does not leave room for a man to really come in and step in and hold his space like how he should. So I think what she's saying with submissive, it's allowing space for your man to run the household like a man should, meaning like, and that looks different for every household, right? But like maybe it's paying the mortgage that, both of our names are on the deed of, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Because we're not about to get stuck out in the cold when you want to act crazy.
Totally. But okay. I think, you know what? I think even with that, and I think this whole discussion, it's a bigger discussion on the male ego and how fragile we think it perhaps is. Because if, as women, and you willingly feel like you need to step aside and let a man take a position or do this and that or steer the boat or whatever, why don't you think for me, I trust my man to assume that position when he needs to. And I feel like, and I trust my man to also feel like he can trust me enough to also steer at times, to also do my thing at times, and not for me, at least, to not think that I would need to step aside for his benefit, for his manhood. I think, you know, if he's feeling like that is a threat to his manhood, then, you know, there's other problems here in terms of whether or not how secure he may be in his own self. Like, it shouldn't be up to me to then take a lesser position than I would in my own life. Like, me being right now a single woman, like, I know how to run my home, you know? And so it's not like when all of a sudden he comes along, a man comes along, children comes along, that I feel the need to step back or stop doing what I know has been working for so long for his benefit and for at 24/7. I'm not saying that I'm not going to be the one in charge all the time. I think that's an issue too, but you know, it's the default is not him. That's all I'm saying. The default, and it shouldn't have to be. It's more so, you know, I shouldn't be, perhaps I'm probably not going to do this, but you know, you're already asking to pretend to give up my name, to change up my lifestyle, to do all these things. And now all the decisions for what we're doing and where we're going is up to you. I don't think so. Like, I enjoy where we are, and I enjoy this relationship so much. I want to be actively present in it. And I think it's not, you know, it's just not going to be my style. Again, you like it, I love it. Jeannie likes it. Go ahead, girl. That's your relationship. So I'm not here to judge. It's more so to just be like, I don't see that for me. I don't see that.
Yeah, no, I feel you on all of that, and love the whole like give up your name thing. That is hilarious and so true. I think about that too. I'm like, maybe I should hyphenate it. Maybe you should take my last name. I don't know. But I feel you on all of that. I don't know. I feel personally like I want to feel super safe with my man. And I'm not saying either way is right? Again, this is just depending on the man. The man might not even want to take control of the situation. He might want to be like, girl, go and do your thing, honey. Like, I ain't tripping. He might not even care about any of this, right? But for me, I'm like, I love it when a man takes care of his household and takes care of me. I love the way that feels. I love the way that a man comes in and kind of is like, all right, baby, like, we gonna do this. I already made reservations for this. We doing this. I like it when my man takes charge and can assume the role and feel like he's the man and wears the pants in the relationship. And I am here for that, because that gives him a confidence of taking care of me, and that gives me confidence in him taking care of me. And I think it's just that balance. So it just depends on obviously the man and how you want to do it for your life, girl.
Yeah, you know what? And we'll just say, like, because I agree with that too. Who doesn't love someone saying, hey, reservations at this time, I got your dress picked out for you, this and that, you know, stepping up in that capacity. I love it too. But, you know, anyways, Jeannie said, you know, I'm like, listen, I love that, but there's a lot of other things to it that I'm like, because you picked out my outfit doesn't mean you're about to pick out my life, sir, okay? So there's that. But what Jeannie mentioned in response, because she did receive a lot of backlash, and I think from folks who, again, triggered by that whole submissive thing and perhaps just want to challenge her relationship, period. She said, you know, by giving the power to have someone lead in your life is power in itself. The power to relinquish control. You willingly submit, not forcibly submit. And that was her caption on a recent photo in response to a little bit of the backlash, which, you know, there's some truth in that photo too, in that caption too. But again, it's more so
get it how you live. Get it how you
live. Exactly.
Guess what, honey? That's your business.
Facts.
Okay, so girl, let's go into Black excellence news, honey, girl. What's going on?
You know what's really excellent? The Black Creators Club. Okay, the Black Creators Club is excellent. We work really hard to do this show, as you all know, and the best way that you can repay us is to share the show with a friend and subscribe to our YouTube page or on Apple or Spotify podcasts. When you do, please comment on the show. We will read fan shout outs on the air. And also, if you have questions or even cool news items that we have missed, let us know too by just emailing us at theblackcreatorsclub@gmail.com or DMing us on all social media platforms at the Black Creators Club. Now let's get into these news, Eboné.
Yes, girl. Let's get into the news, girl. What is on the docket? What's on the first thing on the docket for the Black Excellence News?
Yes, we got Michael B. Jordan and how he's producing DC's Static Shock film via his Outlier Society company. So, this should be awesome because it's kind of like, a Black comic series and, a Black man who's also been making his rounds in production and just really getting Outlier Society, his own company, up and running on its own. And just seeing Michael B. Jordan doing anything is amazing. So we love that he's able to at least stretch his realms within the artist arena.
Yeah, no, we love to see it. I mean, I love to just see Michael B, period. I love him on screen, period. Fine man, okay? Like, we are here for it all, honey.
Yes. And we also got Issa Rae. Recently, she hosted SNL, and she did a great job. I think everyone loved her bits, including Kanye in his own way. He had a bit to say about her jokes about him, and pretty much his reaction was just along the lines of course, someone outside of the Black community would have Black people who are doing things in their own right tear down another Black person. And I'm summarizing his tweets. He didn't say exactly this. It was a little bit more. But again, to Issa Rae's comments around Kanye's recent antics. And what do you got to say about that one?
Girl, you know what? Kanye has so much to say all the time. So it's like, I get it. And sometimes he does have like a little validity in his statements. I don't think he's completely a psycho. I just think that sometimes you just gotta like take off the granny panties and just allow some good energy. Like, it's all in fun. Take it with a grain of salt and like, let's move on, because people have been saying much more I don't know what's happening. The tequila, whatever's going on. I don't know. I can't speak right now, but people have said worse about Kanye. And let's just move on. Like, just have some fun, Kanye, laugh it off and go have fun with your kids. Like, just.
Right. It's part of the thing. And it made me think, like, is it because it's SNL? Like, if this was set on the Shade Room or more of a Black centric programming, would you not have cared? But because SNL, a lot of your, white counterparts or folks that you may want to impress X or Y, Z way, are hearing this. Is that why you think it warranted this kind of response? Because it's all jokes, and it's all jokes based on what's been happening recently. So it is what it is.
But then last piece of news, girl. Now this one is my favorite. Jordan Peele with the Lovecraft Country series. He outdid himself with this one. Okay, you guys, he outdid himself. Now, I would have to say Jordan Peele is becoming one of my favorite producer, writers, executives, because he really knows how to tell a Black story in more way than one. I think when you're telling a Black story, there's so much creativity that goes into it, right? We have Issa Rae with her like reality and comedy. We have Tyler Perry with his relatable, like funny grandma type energy. You have some auntie, some grandma that has that same energy, right? So it's relatable in that way as well. And Jordan Peele comes with facts. He comes with creativity in a way that you maybe wouldn't have seen it otherwise. And I think us as Black people, we're so creative. On a scale from 1 to 100, we're at 1,000 with creativity. And Jordan Peele does that in this series with Lovecraft Country, which I know Akilah touched on earlier in the episode, how she went to that HBO special. But just the fact that, in this series, he's talking history, racism, race, interracial relationships. The thing goes back to the 50s and that whole complicated situation, which is something so relevant and still happening today. Maybe not so outright, but at the same time, kind of out there and outright. Okay, so I love him.
Yeah, he's not even quickly making a stamp. He already has a stamp in this industry. And, even from Key and Peele type days where he was really more sketch comedy to really moving into this old realm of like being historical, being factual, but also blending it with art in such a way that's so captivating. And, you know, that underlying idea of suspense and horror that we saw in Get Out, in a sense, like you're really getting that same feel in Lovecraft. So obviously, if you haven't seen it yet, it's time to do it. You know, the finale just came out and we, you know, thoroughly enjoyed it. But Jordan Peele, like, he's definitely one of our, you know, guest wish lists. So one day we'll definitely have him, and we'll be replaying this and showing him, like, listen, we were with you in the gym in some capacity, and you know, celebrating you to being, you know, the excellent Black, you know, figure within entertainment that he is. So great job.
Love it. Yeah, we are so gonna have him on the show. I'm so excited. We're already planning our, like, you know, futuristic ideas, and we want to have him a part of that. So we are so excited. But you know what, you guys, we have talked your ears off tonight, and I hope you enjoyed our episode so much. So Akilah, please let them know where they can find you on social media.
Yes, you can find me everywhere at Akilah Ffriend. So where can they find you, Eboné?
Yes, find me on social media, well, mainly Insta at Eboné Chatman 12. And of course, follow us at the Black Creators Club on everything, the Black Creators Club on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, however else you want to live your life, honey, we are on it. Twitter, like, we got you. So please continue to love and support us, and we will see you all next week.
Yes, later.